Good morning, everybody. You are currently listening to a Tall Girls podcast hosted by a tall girl named India. I hope everyone listening to today's episode is feeling super good. Just want to give you a quick reminder to check out my socials at a Tall Girls podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest so that you can stay updated on all of the latest podcast episodes and catch a glimpse of my everyday life. Okay, I'm really trying to get right into this episode right now because, as you can tell by the title, of course, we're talking about doing things for the plot. Literally. Yes. Summer is basically here at this point. Kinda. Well, not really, because I still got this test tomorrow and an essay due, but by the time that this episode is up and live, that'll be over with, which is great. However, you would think, yeah, school's over, so summer's here. What was it? It was from High School Musical. School's out, scream and shout. What time is it? The time of our lives. It's summertime when school is out, you would think. However, this weather is not summering anymore. She's in the 60s. Before, what was it, last week or the week before? I don't even remember for sure. It was in the 80s. It was humid. I was not having it, but I was having it. You know what I mean? I wasn't having it with the humidity, but I'm like, I'm here for the sun being out and all that stuff. But it's in the 60s right now. And on top of that, it's not even June yet by the time I'm recording this episode. So, but you know what? Honestly, summer is a mindset. I don't even remember what the conversation was for sure, but I was like, yeah, just trying to do stuff for the plot. And she was like, do who for the what? Yes. Exact words. But I think that was just a brutal reminder that not everyone is going to know exactly what do it for the plot or for the plot actually means. So to explain a little, just in case you didn't know, doing it for the plot is like doing it for the vibes, but on steroids. Oh my gosh, that sounded so dumb. I can't believe this is happening right now. It sounded so dumb and way better in my head. Okay, doing it for the vibes is like, you know, watching the sunset with your friends or taking yourself out on a date or I don't know, like acting like a tourist in your own city and just like touring your city. It's for the giggles. It's for a good time. For the plot, that's like main character energy. Like, you have the power to completely change the plot of your larger narrative, which is your life. So wearing 7-inch heels when you're already 6 feet tall, for the plot. Talking to strangers in fake accents, for the plot. Traveling to the other side of the world with only $7.24 in your bank account, for the plot. Okay, why was that last one oddly specific? Anyways, but for the plot is kind of like YOLO, but on drugs. I remember the days of YOLO. YOLO was like for the plot, but in the early 2000s. Because I'm not going to lie to y'all, I used to say YOLO. Kind of cringe now, but let me stop because I know somewhere down the line, many years down the line, probably when I'm in my 30s, I'm going to look back and I'm going to be like, why would I say for the plot out loud? That's going to end up cringe somewhere down the line. So honestly, I'm not even going to think too much about the YOLO era, but for the plot is like YOLO but on drugs, because YOLO is kind of like, yeah. I don't know. I just feel like YOLO is less aggressive, less intense than for the plot. Because it's kind of like peace, love type of thing. Like, yeah, we're doing it to change our lives, but change the world too, because YOLO. But for the plot is like, you know, there's that potential to ruin other people's lives or ruin our own lives. That sounds so bad. Like the example that I just gave, traveling to the other side of the planet with only $7.24 in your bank account. Yeah, like for the plot, obviously we don't know what's gonna happen. on the other side of the planet with that much in our bank account, but we're just doing it just to see. Like, you never know what's gonna happen, just to see what can you learn in that experience, what can like shake things up in your life. But is that a smart thing to do? Not really. I like how I thought about that for a while too. Maybe I was contemplating doing that. You know, you never know what can happen, like I said before. But I'm not saying to go jump off a bridge or hit someone with a car for the plot. Because saying for the plot in court does not get you out of jail. You can't just be like, Your Honor, I actually did it for the plot. What? That is ridiculous. That may even get you more time in jail because everyone's going to look at you like, what is going on with this person? So I'm not saying to do anything illegal or do anything stupid. Like, please don't jump off a bridge for the plot, or don't hit someone with a tractor. I think I said car. I don't know why tractor came out, but don't hit someone with a car or a tractor for the plot. Like, please don't do that. But if someone out there somewhere is watching your life right now through a movie screen, what would you do to keep them watching, to keep them entertained? That does sound a little creepy and a little stalkerish. Maybe it's just me, just a little bit. I don't know. I've been watching TV shows lately where there are cameras in people's houses and bedrooms, and when like a parent or a spouse like goes away for the weekend for like a business trip or whatever, they're like watching the people in the house. It's like, oh my God. That's just so weird. Like, I know people have it for security purposes. Like, I know it's for security. I mean, usually, maybe it's different here. I don't know. I'm used to being on the outside rather than the inside, you know, just watching people. You know, you never know what they're going to do. They could be walking around naked. They could be taking a shower. They could be having a full-on dance party that would be so embarrassing. But I just think I need to slow down on watching those shows that there's cameras in people's rooms and houses and stuff like that. That's why I thought it sounded a little creepy. But just think of doing it for the plot as just do the most unapologetic, mind-boggling, life-changing thing that adds much needed spice in your life. And then saying that phrase, oh, it's for the plot. I did it for the plot. I'm gonna do it for the plot. Kind of makes the entire situation less overwhelming or less scary. Like, it kind of helps you release that unhealthy attachment from the outcome of what you're going to do. So instead of overthinking the situation or feeling bad about it afterwards, you just say, oh, it's for the plot. And then it's like, yeah, okay. It added spice. There was a plot twist in there somewhere. It entertained that person that's watching me on that movie screen. Oh, that still sounds a little creepy. I'm gonna stop saying that. But it kind of helps you just release that stress that you have about what could happen, what should happen, what would happen. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, on to the next plot. Because let's face it, one of the main reasons that we talk ourselves out of doing things is because we overthink the situation. There's all this what ifs, like what if I look stupid, or what if I sound dumb, or I don't know, what if they don't like me back, or all that stuff. There's always what ifs, what's gonna happen, I don't know, yada yada yada. But the truth is, you never really know what's going to happen unless you actually do the thing that's going to cause the outcome to happen. And I get it. I kind of, it's scary. But just saying doing it for the plot, as dumb as it sounds, At this point, it just gets you to the point of actually doing the thing that you're scared of doing, or being somebody, or doing something that, like, it just helps you not second guess yourself, your abilities, the situation as a whole. And it doesn't have to be something drastic. It doesn't have to be insane, like, I don't know, like sneak into a red carpet for the plot. Okay, I don't even think that's smart to do either. But it doesn't have to be something drastic. That was a terrible example. It doesn't have to be something drastic. It could be like giving a 10-minute speech in front of a class, or eating at a restaurant by yourself, or dressing up to go to the grocery store. Anything that kind of just brings us out of our comfort zone. It can be the smallest things. It doesn't have to be crazy, insane, out of this world, like backpacking to the other side of the country for a concert and you're going by yourself. Like, that is definitely for the plot. And would I do something like that? Probably. Honestly, that's on my bucket list for next summer. But doesn't have to be something like that. It could be the simplest things, like if you're scared, like, prime example, if you're tall and you're scared of wearing heels, you still gotta wear the heels anyways for the plot. Like, but it's just, it could be the smallest things that could take you out of your comfort zone, and we never know what's gonna happen. And that's why we tend to get afraid of doing those things, and we just don't do it, because it's unknown. And because it's unknown, we're like, oh, like, what if it turns out bad? And trust me, I understand, but what if it turns out good? Sometimes I feel like we take things too seriously, and that is not at all bad, to take things seriously. Actually, you should be taking things seriously, because what are you doing if you're not taking some things in your life seriously? Like, you have work, you have your career, you have serious relationships, like you have a spouse or a significant other, or you have like this long friendship, even like work relationships as well, or you're in school, like your high school, college, graduate school. Like, those are all great things to take seriously. I'm not saying to not take things seriously, but it also doesn't hurt to live a little. Because when we start taking things too seriously, we just get so caught up in the madness. Oh my goodness. That was me not the entire semester. I feel like this semester I was pretty good, but towards the end of the semester, oh my gosh, it was so much. There was so much frustration and stress, and for what? Because I'm taking a lot of these things a little bit too seriously. Yes, I want to succeed. Yes, I want the best for myself, but also I'm a human being. I cannot just do everything at once. Some things are going to have to take priority over others. Yes, and even if certain things fall down lower on the quote unquote prioritization list or whatever, like, yes, still take those things seriously. But also, if it doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen. And then making that time to just not be so serious, even if it's for 20 minutes, like watching a Netflix show, or I don't know, having, like we were talking about dance parties earlier, having a dance party in your kitchen, or I don't know, like taking a walk and just talking to a random person at the park for like 15 minutes, or playing with the birds. Actually, I don't like birds like that. But if you like birds, play with the birds. Something that is just not so serious, or doesn't have you like caught up in all the studying and the working and the planning and the prepping and the budgeting and this and that and the other. Just 15 minutes out of the day for the plot. Play with the birdies for the plot. Maybe you'll get a bird friend. Okay, a bird friend, like another person who also likes playing with the birds, or a bird friend like you're actually a friend with a bird. You never know. Maybe you could take one of the birds home. That could be your new pet. It's cray out here. But oh my gosh, how did I even get to the point of birds? We're talking about being super serious all the time, but it doesn't have to be as serious or as intense or as frustrating and stressful as you are making it. Because sometimes the situation is just not that deep, but we tend to make things deeper than it needs to be. And it doesn't always, I'm not saying to never make it deep, but it doesn't always have to be that deep. And just detaching ourselves from that, oh my gosh, like, for example, one of the things I'm stressing out about, finals, oh my gosh, like I'm doing all this studying and I'm tired, but what if I'm not doing enough? Or what if I fail that exam after putting all of this work in and stuff like that? First of all, number one, that's stressful in and of itself. That's just making the situation more stressful, just thinking about what could potentially happen and all the bad things that could potentially happen. But if you're putting that work in, then it's like, what's the likelihood of that bad thing happening, you know? And, you know, even if on that very rare occasion that it does turn out quote unquote bad, it was for the plot. Studying all this time but not getting the grade that I wanted, okay, but it's still for the plot. Want to know why? Because in all that time of studying, A, I probably learned a lot of new things that I can apply to my life, and B, it builds on my discipline and my good habits. So even though I'm not motivated, I still do what I have to do, and I did what I had to do. So it was for my plot, because down the line I could use that information, I could use those skills, you know? But I personally don't think that things actually like turn out bad. Like, it could seem bad in the moment, but overall down the line it has helped you or will help you in some way. Just like if you're embarrassing yourself in front of the class during that 10-minute speech because, I don't know, what could happen? I don't know, you accidentally burped, or you accidentally, I don't know, like you stuttered a lot, or you got super anxious, yada, yada, yada. But down the line, you can think like, how can I make this better? So the next time I know what to do. And stuff like this happens like several times. Like, it's not just a one thing. Like, let's say if you burp in front of the class, like that may not be the last time that you give a speech and you actually burp in front of people. So then next time you know how to handle yourself. Maybe you'll even like crack a little joke to get the people laughing and stuff like that. But the thing is with that, no one is thinking about it as much as you're thinking about it. No one is going to think about it as much as you're going to think about it. No one is really thinking about what you did or how you looked or how loud that burp was or how you sounded. No one's thinking about it as much as you are, because yeah, it may be a little bit embarrassing in the moment and they may laugh or say something, yeah. But like 2 days later, half the time people don't even remember what they have for breakfast on this given day, you know? And this is your plot. It's not theirs. So they're not going to be thinking about your plot as much as they're thinking about their plot. So in conclusion, just to wrap up, because I don't even know what's going on at this point, do it scared, do it unprepared, so that down the line, you're not living in regret or despair. Ooh, bars. Gotta get that one trademarked before somebody steals it. But yeah, just releasing that attachment from the outcome and believing that no matter the outcome, it was meant to happen for you in your favor will relieve so much stress and frustration. Because after all, no matter what it is, no matter what situation, no matter what outcome, it was for the plot. And like I said before, this isn't, permission to do something stupid or illegal or things that will hurt you and or other people, but kind of just as a reminder to live a little. do something fun, do something a little bit crazy, do something a little bit spicy, and that's the mood for this summer. So hopefully you're going to be doing things for the plot as I'm doing things for the plot. There's a lot of things that I'm going to be doing for the plot that's going to start next week. Can you believe that? Next week, the whole plot line changes. There's going to be several plot twists. Am I mentally prepared? No, I'm not mentally prepared for these plot twists coming up, these plot changes. This is crazy. New season. This is a new season of my life. New characters. Bro, you know what? Like I said, it's for the plot, so I'm not gonna think too much about it. Gotta take my own advice at this point. But hopefully you do one or two things this summer for the plot as well, no matter what situation, no matter what circumstance. And yeah, let me know what things you're gonna do for the plot. Hit me up at a Tall Girls Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. Let me know all of your plot twists. We just gotta inform each other. I know I'm gonna be posting about it on my social medias. There's gonna be a lot of changes to that as well. So stay tuned and stay updated. What? Stay tuned and stay updated. Well, yeah, I'm gonna update you guys, but stay tuned. Stay tuned for those changes. And thank you so much for listening up to this point in the episode, me just rambling about the plot. I think this entire episode was really just me convincing myself to just stop stressing and stop being scared and just it's for the plot. I need to stop saying that because it's getting a little tired right now. But I appreciate you. You're awesome. You're amazing, and everything works out in your favor. Don't forget about that. So I'll catch you in the next one. Good night and goodbye.